now we're going to cross over to Cairo, Egypt, the Intra-Africa Trade Fair, the Canex Live Theatre, where we're going to have the closing ceremony.
We've got to stop that kind of conduct. Simultaneously, it's a very large subject, and we can go on for the next seminars over the next few weeks over this issue. I want us to understand that. On the other hand, there's a new culture taking place about which we have to be very careful. I call it the internet culture. Now, this is a marvelous technology. It's a liberating technology. The so-called Arab Spring, for instance, among many movements, were able to take life and be successful where they've been utilizing that culture of instant communication. These are positive. However, as a new tyrannical, insolent, abusive culture, the culture of submental humanity in our midst, which you can give the rough name neo-internet culture, in which real creativity is being downgraded, even despised, for cheap, populist, nasty, subversive, humanly subversive culture. It's creating new generations of the illiterate, which believe, a new community of illiterate, believe that it's up to them, that it's sort of noble and progressive and populist to despise what I call the real, meaningful culture that improves the mind of humanity, expands our horizon, offers numerous alternatives for interpretation of phenomena, etc., and leads to a new construct of a genuine new being. Now, we have to watch this network-facilitated abuse of culture. I speak very specifically to my own society, especially the Nigerian society, the greatest abusers of that kind of culture, where you have the real degradation of the real meaning of culture facilitated by internet
technology.
So that's why I said it's a large subject, which we must not trivialize. We shouldn't take the easy way out. We shouldn't
face it.
Go on the axial, black and white, and so on. There are nuances. It's a work in progress, but we must not let the barbarians get away with this new culture.
I did promise that one last question from the audience, but a woman, yes. Please, can we get a mic to her? You see, the time we have is so short, but I hope you enjoyed yourselves. So, Canex did right by you. Yeah, Afrexim Bank did right by you. All right, please.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Really an honor to be here. So my question is related to something he hinted at the beginning of the session about youth. Yeah, I'm curious about the physical youth, but I'm more interested in what keeps your creativity so young and alive and relevant to the current, like where we are right now in the world. So that's what I want to know, like in terms of, you also said something about spirituality, how it's like the fundamental essence of everything humanity is about. So I want to know how your creativity stays so young and relevant and current, because I would like to stay young forever creatively.
Thank you.
Okay, yes.
So the interlocutor would like to know how you manage to keep your creativity going 66 years after you started publishing. What is the real secret of your creativity?
Curiosity.
Creativity.
Yes.
Because I can assure you that Prof has a new book, in fact, 2 new books, a new volume of essays and a new selected volume of poems, some of which are actually very new. You need to go get them. I am 40-something years younger, and I haven't written anything close. So how do you manage to do these things even now? I guess that's the essence of a question.
I don't know. It's a combination of many things, and you just have to decide which is predominant. I consider myself very lucky, for instance, health-wise. And if you feel not just physical but mental energy, then you just have to do something with it. And that's what happens, that you're sitting down and an idea occurs to you. If that idea has reached what I call the critical mass, where it simply must boil over, you have no peace of mind unless you release it. So it's even for your own sake, in your own interest. If you feel you have that mental creative energy which is pulsing, don't think I work 24 hours around the clock or 7 days a week. No, I only work at being creative when both inspiration, time, convenience, mood, temperament combine. And then I get to work for my own sake, for my own peace of mind. And then, of course, you live in a society in which you most of the time feel you have to do something, that this anomaly cannot be permitted to continue without some remark, without some intervention of some sort. I mean, how do you live with yourself, for instance, when you are in a society that permits 300 of your own children to be kidnapped under your own nose in the name of religion?
And not say anything.
I'm talking about the Chibok girls. Yes. Are you sitting down one day and you learn that you sent your children to a boarding school to take examination? In fact, you made things easy. You've been complicitous without knowing it. And that those terrorists just come shouting the name of Allah and sweeping up your children, drive them into the bush. Well, the first instinct as a hunter is I'd like to go after them, even personally if possible. That's impossible. So what do I do for my own peace of mind? Well, impotence sometimes leads to creativity. So I write a long ode to Chibok and Leah. Leah was the girl who, this other one, kidnapping took place in Dapchi. And in this case, the school pupils were ransomed. We're not satisfied with ransoming, with receiving the ransom. These extremists made the pupils convert. And they all did, except one. Her name was Leah. And it's not enough for me that such an event happened. It's important for it to be used to excoriate even further the conscience of a society that allowed it to happen in the first place. In other words, you celebrate that spirit. You celebrate that spirit. At the same time, you're careful, and that's where creativity comes in. You're careful not to suggest that the others who converted did something wrong or not less noble. No. That's not the idea. The important thing that this monumental event has taken place within society. It's an abnormality. It should never be allowed to happen. What can you do?
You have to.
You cannot physically go after and rescue
respond.
them. So this is what I can do. This is what makes me a writer. And it hasn't solved the situation, but at least it's given me a little bit of ease of mind that I have not let this go
unremarked
without enforcing it on people's mind, both within and outside the country. So when you ask what keeps me going, it's that kind of inability to be at peace with myself when confronted by something which for me is a contradiction of humanity.
Thank you. The organizers have signaled to me that we have come to the end of this session. But I would like to thank you, Prof, for answering all our questions. You still haven't told us where you hid those pipes. I am still going to come after them. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And you have been a lovely audience.
Thank you. Thank you.